Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we will discuss about the 71 option buying trades that I have taken over the period of 45 days. Here we will discuss about everything including the P&L, my losses, what data is suggesting and what I should do from now onwards. Now before getting started, the core idea is to become successful in option buying, and that's why initially I wanted to collect data about myself, my trading habits, and that's why I planned about this. Now the rules were that I used the capital of 6,000 rupees. That means in any given trade my buy value cannot exceed 6,000 rupees. I have traded in Sensex. Sensex has a lot size of 20 at the moment. That means that in any given trade my premium that I'm buying cannot exceed 300 rupees. The max loss that I can take in a given trade is 40 points, that is equal to around 800 rupees, and then the brokerage charges will add to that. And for a given day my loss cannot exceed 2,000 rupees plus the brokerage and other charges. These were the rules that I have set, and all of this is discretionary trading. Now let's get started with this analysis. Now what I have done is I have created this small application for myself, mainly by doing vibe coding. As you guys can see here, this is a trading analytics dashboard. What I have done is I have collected all my trades data and I have updated that information in my database, and this program displays those data in visual format. Now when I talk about the P&L and we talk about the win rate and other stuff, we can do that in two ways. One is that we talk about it in terms of the trades. Second one is that we can talk about that in terms of the day's P&L. Now if I select trade view here, the data displayed here on the screen are in terms of the trades. So here totally I have made the profit of around 4,243 rupees in my 71 trades. And this profit is after including all the brokerage and other charges. So this is the actual profit that I have. And at the same time I have paid around 4,260 rupees as the brokerage and other charges. Total trades 71, win rate is 33.8, winning trades 24, losing trades 47. On my winning trades my average winning amount is 1,008 rupees. On my losing trade my average losing amount is 425. If I use that for risk reward calculation, it will be somewhere in between 1:2.3. And the max win in a particular trade is 2,769. Max loss is 875. Here we can see that the max loss that I have taken is 40 points, that is 800 rupees plus the brokerage. So that's why we get 875 here. And then if you look at the streaks, the current streak is 1 loss, max streak is 4 wins in a row and 12 losses in a row, and those 12 losses have come very recently. The max drawdown is 7,245 thanks to my last 2 weeks overtrading. And now if I change my view to daily view, then we can see the profit is same. Total number of days I have traded 25, winning days 13, losing days 12. Average amount on my winning days is 1,311. Average amount on my losing days 1,067. If I use that for risk reward calculation, it will be 1:1.2. Again, the max loss in a day is 2,338. Max profit is 3,655. Current streak is 4 loss, and then max streak is 4 wins in a row and 4 losses in a row. Max drawdown 6,007, again thanks to my recent overtrading. So this is the data that I have here, and let's dive into some deeper analytics. Now here what I have done is I have displayed some data by using charts. I have daily P&L trend. If I expand this, then we can see the line which is above here is my cumulative P&L, and the line in the bottom is my daily P&L. So you guys can see up to certain time period everything was good, my losses were small, my winning amount was big, but after some period the scenario started to change. I started taking bigger losses, and hence my cumulative P&L has dropped. So that we can see here. And I have weekly P&L trend. If I expand that, you guys can see in the first 5 weeks I have made profit, last 2 weeks I have made losses. And then I have day wise performance. If I expand that, on Monday I have lost around 2000, Tuesday is the biggest day, 4000 profit, Wednesday around 1700 profit, Thursday loss, Friday around 1000 rupees profit. Now I have detailed data for all these things. Now let us dive into my detailed analytics, and here we can see the day-wise performance. I have some detailed data here. For example, we can see average wins on the winning trades, average loss on the losing trades. Now one thing that I can see is that on Monday and on Thursday I have a very bad win percentage. So that is one thing adding up to the losses in those days. Then if I go for the daily performance, we can see my recent trades in here. So when I'm losing, I have taken more number of trades. When I'm winning, I have taken less number of trades. Now if you go for the weekly performance, those things reflect in here. For example, now when I started in a week, I was taking around 5, 6 and 8 trades. But in the last 2 weeks, I have taken more number of trades. Hence, I have made more losses. So that is one thing that is concerning at this particular moment. If you go for the monthly performance, in April, I have taken 18 trades. 55% is the win rate. I have made a profit of around 4,430. May, 53 trades, 26% win rate, around 200 rupees loss. At one time period, I was around 5,000 rupees profit in May month. But after that, in the last 2 weeks, I lost all the profits. Right now, I'm at around 200 rupees loss. This is after including all the brokerage and other charges. And if you look at the yearly performance from April 15 to May 30, 4,243 is the profit. And then depending on the option type, whether I'm buying the call option or the put option, I have the data here. Around similar win rate for call and put options and similar number of trades. On my call options, I have made just a bit more money. And then we will dive into my trade duration analysis. So what it means is how long I'm in a trade and what happens when I'm in a trade for a certain period of time. When my trade duration is below 15 minutes, I have made losses and significant amount of losses. Maybe the reason for that is sometimes I go against the trend. So when that happens, immediately my SL is taken out. So in that case, the trade duration will be less and I have taken full loss. And sometimes I realize that I'm against the trend and I have to exit. So in those cases also I exit my trades. So hence the time period on those trades will be less. And again, those trades are loss making trades. So when the duration on the trade increases, I started making profit. And there is a reason for that, because if I'm in a trade for longer duration, it means that whatever the strategy that I'm applying, it is working. And when I'm in a trade for longer duration of time, when the market comes in my way, I started trailing my P&L. And because of that, the loss will reduce. And sometimes after trailing, my SL will be above my buying price. So hence, more time I'm spending in a trade, chances that I'm making some money. So hence the losses will be less. So kind of means that if I'm in a trade for around 20 minutes or longer, there is more probability that I'll be making money in those trades. That is one thing that we can get from this data. And then I have this trade number statistics. So here what I have done is I have calculated how much amount I have made in my first trade, second trade, third trade, fourth trade, and like that. So on my first trade, around 25 days, 25 trades, I have around 32% win rate and I have lost around 470 rupees. But on my second trades, I have 45% win rate and I have made a profit of around 7,000 rupees. So we can kind of see that second trade is my best trade. And the third trade, I have taken it 14 times and 35% win rate and I have around 746 rupees profit. So after that, fourth and fifth trade are big loss making trades. So what it suggests here is that if I can limit myself to 2 or 3 trades in a day, then that is better. So taking fourth and fifth trades are not working for me. When I'm entering fourth or fifth trades, generally I'm in loss in that day. And when I'm in loss, I kind of tend to start losing my concentration. I started to take trades where the setup is not complete. I start to enter early, and also I have some habit of entering a trade just to recover the losses for that day. So all these things are making the situation worse instead of making better. So this is one data that I have analyzed in here. So from the coming month, I will stop myself at 3 trades in a day. And finally, in this video, I want to take you guys to this what if analysis that I have added. So what it does is it displays what if I would have limited myself to certain number of max trades for a day. For example, if I would have taken only 1 trade in a day, then what would have happened? 25 days, 25 trades, 32% win rate and 470 rupees loss. But if I would have limited myself to max of 2 trades in a day, then 45 trades, 37% win rate, 6,608 rupees profit. If I would have limited myself to max number of 3 trades in a day, then it means then 59 trades, 37% win rate, 7,354 rupees as profit. If I would have limited myself to max 4 trades in a day, then 5,217 rupees profit. So here again we can see that sweet spot where I should stop myself after taking 2 or 3 trades in a day. So fourth and fifth trades are not working for me, at least at this particular moment. So what we have seen is all this data about my trades. The reason why I'm recording this video is when I started recording all my trade data and started analyzing that, it kind of started to show some picture about what I'm doing wrong, in number terms, how I can improve that. Now I don't want to depend entirely on all the data things just because the sample size right now is only 70 trades. But right now there are certain stats which are indicating that what are the things that I'm doing wrong, how I can improve that. So one important thing that is highlighting here is overtrading when I'm losing. So if I can reduce that, even after having more number of bad days, I can be in profit. So when I'm making profit, I should make it big. When I'm losing, I should be focusing on reducing my losses. So if I can do that, even with a relatively small win percentage, I will be able to make money. And finally, I just want to talk about something which is not appearing here in this data, and that is that if I go for the last 2 weeks data, I have big losses in here. And in these last 2 weeks, I had noticed some patterns about myself, and that is in some of these days I did not had complete sleep. A couple of days I slept only for 3 hours. I came back in that day and I took trades, bad decisions, one led to another thing, and started taking big loss. So that is one thing that I should address. I think if I'm not mentally ready to take the trade, if I'm not 100% in terms of sleep, in terms of my mood, if I have some other worries in my mind, then I should avoid trading that day. So I have not done that. So even after sleeping around 2 or 3 hours, I have taken trades, and those trades were disastrous. So that is one thing that I have noticed here. So in the coming month, I will try to avoid that. So this is it, guys, for this particular video about my trade data. If you guys have noticed anything here which is important, then please let me know in the comment section so that I can improve on that. One last thing, guys, if you are someone who is trading, please try to collect the trade details and try to analyze it. So this is it, guys. Thank you for watching. See you later in the next one.